2. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. I am the Introverted Reader. So today's video, you can see we're gonna have a little discussion. We're gonna have a discussion about pick-me girls. So let's just hydrate first of all. Make sure that you're hydrated. I don't know, I got the inspiration for this a while back because for a few reasons I'll get into in a wee second, but I just felt like I needed to sit down and actually discuss with some people about what being a pick-me girl actually is, because some of yous don't get it and it's frustrating. So anyway, so pick-me girls. What is a pick-me girl? What are they? What are the characteristics? Well, the literal definition that I got from Google of what a pick-me girl is as follows. A woman who seeks male validation by portraying herself as not like other girls, often acting with internalized misogyny. They put down other women or distance themselves from feminine stereotypes to appear more appealing or low maintenance to men. To men. Male validation, the male gaze. You feel? Are you with me now? So again, I had the inspiration for this a while back, but like I said, I wanted to sit and cook it for a bit so I really knew what I was talking about. So, and maybe I still don't, but you know, whatever. You can keep that opinion to yourself. But anyway, so I was inspired by two instances, right? Well, two characters that have been given the label of pick-me girl, and I do not feel for a second that they deserve it. Robin from Stranger Things and Elizabeth from the 2025 Frankenstein film adaptation. Now, I have not read the book of Frankenstein. Let me be very clear. I haven't read the book yet, Frankenstein. I will, hopefully, this year. That's a goal. But I want it to be very clear, I'm not talking about Elizabeth from the original book. We're not talking about that version of her. I'm talking about the version that is portrayed in the film that came out last year. It's beautiful. I love that. But anyway. So anyway, like I said, I do not believe let me just make one thing clear. I do not believe for 1 second that either one of these girlies fit the description of a pick-me girl, because they don't. They don't, okay? They absolutely don't. But apparently some do. And what angers me is because I'm just over here like, I'm sorry, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean? When did they ever give the impression? Because, so let's again direct you to the actual meaning of what it is, okay? It's a girl who is seeking male validation by portraying herself in a certain way that is appealing to the male gaze, all right? Do we have that? Do you have that locked in? Are you on business? Are you clocked in? Do you understand what I'm saying? So, now, first of all, let's talk about Robin. So first of all, we must have been watching a different show with a different character named Robin Buckley. Because when and where does Robin Buckley ever seek male validation? Like, we first meet her in season 3, right, of Stranger Things. And she seems very cool. She seems very aloof. She seems very like, oh, whatever, you know. And she's working with Steve in the ice cream shop, and Steve likes her. He tries to put it on with her a little bit, but then it all comes out. Robin is a queer woman. She's a lesbian, okay? So tell me again when and where she was seeking any type of male validation. And then we meet her in the latter seasons, and she's maybe not as aloof anymore. You know, she's a little bit more relaxed. She's a bit more herself. She's opened up to Steve about who she is. The two of them have become friends. You know, she's taken off the mask, and she's been a bit more open about who she is as a person. So, you know, excuse a neurodivergent girl for taking the mask off and, you know, being more herself and being more comfortable around her friends. But that's a different conversation. So if that is your definition of a pick-me girl, it's a bit ableist if I'm being honest with you. But anyway, So, yeah, and I really don't get where you're getting, yeah, where is she seeking male validation? When and where is she putting any women down, ever? Like, if anything, Robin Buckley is the most raging girlies girl. Like, she would fight for anyone, especially for the women. Being a queer woman growing up in the 80s, are you kidding me? Like, Robin's a girl's girl in every sense of the word. So, and again, on to that's Robin wasn't really the focal point of this. It was mainly Elizabeth, because I saw so many people talking about her, talking about like, oh, she's such a pick me, she's such a manic pixie dream girl. First of all, they don't. Both of those terms don't mean the same thing. You know, the pixie dream girl is a version of a girl that a man cooks up in his head. You know, that's a version, like, a man would meet a woman and he would start to like her, but then he would start cooking up in his own brain a version of her that she's not. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what I got from the internet. Does Victor do that to Elizabeth? Maybe he does, but that's not on her, that's on him. Do you know what I'm saying? If anything, in that situation, in the whole situation in that movie, it was Victor that was the pick-me. He was a raging pick-me, my God. But anyway, so, and I haven't read the book yet, obviously, so I'm not talking about book version of Elizabeth. So obviously, in the 2025 film version, Elizabeth is engaged to William, Victor's brother. Okay, and obviously whenever she meets Victor, they don't really get along very well. You know, she challenges him in a lot of his opinions, and they do form a kind of friendship, and he opens up about the fact that he feels a connection between, like, Victor is literally one of those men that you can't be nice to. Like, if you're that bit nice to him, or you give him one compliment, or you smile at him one time, he thinks you're in love. Like, I know. So, okay. And then another scene that cooked up a little bit of like, oh, she's such a pick-me. Like, oh my goodness, she's so quirky. Like, she's not like other girls. Because, you know the scene in the film where, you know, she discovers him in the church and they go out and have a wee bit of supper. And she has a parcel with books in it. And Victor automatically assumes, like, oh, did you buy, like, a steamy romance or something? And Elizabeth's like, no, open it. And then he opens it, and it's books about insects. And she opens up to him about the fact that she has an interest in science, you know, and how, like, bugs move and, like, all things about them, which is totally fine. That's totally fine and acceptable. You can have an interest in bugs if you want. Like, when I was a kid, I had a fascination with dolphins, and I wanted to know everything about them. And I know a lot of autistic people, if you're watching, are like, oh, but sharks, though? Sharks too. Yeah. Although, granted, I did watch Jaws at way too young an age, and I'm borderline terrified of them. Fascinating creatures, but I wouldn't want one near me. But anyway, you know, so what? She's reading a book about insects. So what? That doesn't make her a pick-me girl. Does Victor ever show an interest in insects? No. Not until he meets Elizabeth. Do you really ever think that Victor would ever go out be chasing butterflies had he not met Elizabeth? I don't think so. I don't think so, Sharon. I don't think so at all. So again, just because she's reading books about them, that doesn't make her that doesn't make her a pick-me. She doesn't decide automatically that she wants to read books about bugs because she meets Victor. She had that interest way before she met him. She was interested in science way before she met him. She was she may have had a fascination with the human body and maybe they bonded over it, but she had an interest in science and she liked knowing how, like, things worked in the human body and everything. Autonomy. Having an interest in autonomy is fine, but that doesn't make her a pick-me, because, like I said, the whole definition of it is a girl trying to change herself in order for a guy to notice her. Elizabeth could give a fuck about Victor. Do you know what I mean? Victor's the one who's the pick-me in this situation. And again, Robin isn't looking for any male validation. She's just a queer woman growing up in the 80s who, you know, finally took off her mask and is fully just being herself. Why is it that when a woman fully deems to be herself, whether it's in a book or a TV show or even in real life, You know, just because we need a female character that has interests outside of the things that are strictly feminine, that makes her a pick-me. Like, not every girl is into makeup. Not every girl is into getting her hair done. Like, yes, I like makeup. Obviously, I'm plastered in the shit right now. And, you know, I guess I like having my hair, although, see this hair? I don't know what to do with this hair. This is all I can do. Like, I part it down the side and let her air dry, and that's it. I don't know what to do with her. Like, you know, but, you know, as well, I also like to build Legos. I like, you know, collecting these stupid little things, and, and, yes, and I read a lot of, fantasy books. Like, my favorite movie is Lord of the Rings, not Never Been Kissed, because Never Been Kissed is terrible. But not the point whatsoever. The point is, your interests do not define who you are as a woman or just as a person, period. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to call me a pick-me for building Legos or for collecting Funkos, by all means. By all means. If that makes you feel better about yourself, then by all means. Okay? I know who I am. Elizabeth knows who she is. Robin knows who she is, and we don't need your validation. Okay? Like, you want to define us as pick-me girls? Fine, whatever. But again, neither one of the three of us could give a fuck what men think. All right? And we need to stop this narrative. We need to stop this narrative, of reading about all of our girlies in these books who are just being themselves. Elizabeth was just being her. And if you want to read a book about insects, you read that book about insects. And I hope that you get great interest out of it. I really, really do. Or if you have an anatomical interest, if you want to read a book about how the human digestive system works, then by all means, you do that. Do you know what I mean? Or if you want to be like Robin and know this, that, and everything about every album ever, and, weird facts about movies that no one would know about. Do you know what I mean? Like, be you. Okay? Like, stop putting the label of a pick-me girl on someone who doesn't deserve it. There are pick-me girls out there. I know there are. But, like, I'm going to stop rambling. The point is, stop giving the label of a pick-me girl to someone who doesn't deserve it, okay? Like, let's actually just let girls be, all right? Let women be. Let the Robin Buckleys and Elizabeth Harlanders be themselves, okay? So anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I hope you're all having a great day. Feel free to leave a comment if you want, if you have an opinion on this subject. All my socials are down below as always. Blue Sky, Instagram and Threads, TikTok. Follow me on them if you want. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell so you know whenever I upload. Leave a like so the algorithm knows you like me. Do all the things. Do all the things. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video on Tuesday. Bye.